Innovation is an experience. You can go grocery shopping, but there's an app that does that for you. So there's a convenience factor. So for this seller specifically, innovation made sense because she wanted the experience of the cash offer, but she wanted more money. So we gave her the experience of the cash offer, no commissions, no closing costs, no repairs. We made this a hands-off experience for her and a hands-off experience process, but we gave her more money. So we solved the problems that she had. So you focus on solving the problem, not so much the process. Are we going to list it on the market? Yes, but I'm not hyper-focused on the fact that I'm going to list it on the market and it may take X amount of time. I'm focused on solving the problem and how that experience is going to be for that seller, which is what they care about. I'll give you guys a scenario because this is relevant to all of you agents. So the seller had actually moved to another state. He had the property listed for 80 days with an agent and the property was not selling. He had already gone through the process of being a landlord and he didn't enjoy it. The property's in New Orleans and the seller lived in Florida. So he didn't want to rent it. He had it on the market with an agent. So then he submitted a cash offer form. And guess who actually got the deal done? He canceled this agreement with the agent and told the agent, that's it. I'm looking for other options.
All because the agent couldn't give him a solution.
And I actually just came from New Orleans to visit this property. We bought this property ourselves. So not only are we doing deals, but we're also building passive income and creating wealth. So this property, we actually gave the seller $30,000 down. It's a seller finance transaction.
So meaning that he owned the property free and clear.
Mm-hmm. There was no mortgage. Difference between subject to and seller finance is there's no mortgage. So all of you guys that are going to listings, if your sellers have a property that's paid off, hey, Mr. Seller, would you be open to seller finance? It's part of the pre-qual script. So if you guys have Aaron's pre-qual script, it's there. We're giving the seller $800 a month. And guess what interest rate we're paying on this?
Are you serious?
0% interest rate.
He was fine with that. He was like, yeah, that's fine. As long as you gave him the payment that he wanted.
0%. Well, I know how to negotiate. So we didn't start off there. 10 years. So we have 10 years to pay this off. The purchase price is $210,000. We just rented it for $2,100 and we're cash flowing on that property $700 after paying all expenses.
Think about that in terms of return on capital. So $700 times 12 is like $8,400 or something like that. All they're into it is $3,000. So in 3 years, they get all their money back. 28% return on the $30,000.
The neat thing about this deal, which now we get into higher level strategies, for those of you that think you can't build a portfolio because you don't have money, we actually raised the capital. This $30,000. Yeah.
You didn't use your own money?
No.
Wow.
So we have zero money into this deal. We raised the $30,000.
Did you give equity for that or what did you do?
Yeah, we pay them. Yeah. We pay them monthly. We pay our private money monthly. So we raised the $30,000. We're giving the seller $800. Our interest rate is 0%, and we have 10 years, and we're cash flowing.
After you pay the money back to the people that gave it to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
You're paying taxes, insurance, and our private money lender, we're making $700. So in 10 years, whatever the balance is, we'll pay him $800. That goes towards the principal because there's no interest. So in 10 years, whatever the balance is, we're going to pay it to him. But the neat thing is, in 10 years, there's equity. So we can sell the property. We can refinance the property. And not only are we making money, but we're paying him back too. So seller finance, you agree with the terms with the seller. So with seller finance, there's 4 things you have to agree on: purchase price, down payment, interest rate, and the repayment schedule, which is the time. There's always 4 things you're negotiating with seller finance. The seller transfers the property and holds a promissory note. There are states where it's done a little bit different, contract for deed, where title doesn't transfer until you are the owner of the property. In Florida, title does transfer. And then the buyer makes the monthly payments to the seller. He loves it. So essentially, we've replaced him from being a landlord and dealing with tenants from another state to now he's the best.
Hey, what problem did they solve? What was he trying to get away from? Being a landlord, bro. Why would anybody give me a 0% interest rate? Because they had a terrible tenant. See, you see the limiting thinking? Why would anybody do that? Well, somebody will. If you get out of your own way and let them.
With that, is there any way the seller can have an acceleration clause where they want to demand all due short of the 10 years?
Everything is negotiable. We don't put that in our agreement because it doesn't benefit us.
Right, but have you seen the seller come back and say, hey, look.
Well, what I'm aware of is there's levels of sophistication. So people that are sophisticated that have lent money before, they're probably going to want that. Or they'll be like, because I've done that on properties where I lent money and I'm like, hey, put me on the insurance. So if it burns down, I still get paid. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's different levels of sophistication based on like knowledge or whatever. But I don't like.
No.
He didn't care. He was like,
No, he didn't care.
Yeah.
He was happy. Yeah.
but it's good to know. You know what I'm saying? So if you bump across that and somebody asks you, you're like, okay, I see where you're coming from, and then it's a negotiation.
Yeah. The good thing about creative finance, especially seller finance, is it can be done in so many different ways, and both you and the seller have to agree to the terms. So if they want something like that, which doesn't benefit me, I'm not going to agree to that, and I'm going to counter terms. So everything's negotiable. That's the beauty. Nothing's set.
And then the
in stone.
seller, the one providing the money ultimately gets to decide. So I need everybody to be clear on something. Investors play by a certain set of rules. Lenders play by a certain set of rules. You know who writes the rules for both? Lenders.
Yeah. Usually just from a negotiation standpoint, if they're already offering seller finance, it's someone that's savvy and understands it. You're not going to get the best terms with someone like that. Yeah. So if you can, yeah.
She wouldn't ask me for those terms. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, I love you, girl, but no.
Everyone would be like, nah. Yeah. With that, and with seller finance, because I was like, why would someone ever do that? Is you have to know that it's possible, and then you have to believe in it, because you'll talk to 10 sellers that are going to tell you, no, I want you to do this or do that. And then it doesn't work. But then you'll talk to that one person that's like, yes. And all it takes is one person to get a really solid deal.
Somebody wants to know, can the bank call the loan in?
Yeah.
Technically.
So that is the risk with creative finance. With sub 2 is there is a clause where the bank can call the loan due. It's called the due on sale clause. So from an agent perspective, we have proper disclosures that we share with both buyer and seller, and we make them sign it, where both parties understand the transaction and what's involved and pros and cons. We just had it with one of our community members, Jeff. He got his first sub 2 deal. It was a listing. He couldn't move it. And then he told the sellers, hey, what if we go the sub 2 route? And I helped him through the process and coach him on how to do it. All the disclosures are there. As long as both parties understand and both parties are on board with it, then it is what it is. If it does happen, there are ways to mitigate it. So essentially, we would deed the property back to the seller, and then we would lease option it back to the new buyer. So they have the option to buy it at a later time.
Yeah.
There are insurance for due on sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's insurance
as well.
on that too.
Yeah.
So I think the thing for everybody to get clear on, whether you're here or watching, we think that we can avoid risk. We can't. We get to choose the risk that we take. We can't avoid it. So a lot of us grew up thinking, oh, if I leave my money in the bank, that's not risky. That's a risk, because what the government has basically told you is we're going to steal 2 to 3% of it every year. And you're like, that sounds good to me. Yeah, because it loses its purchasing power. The most expensive thing you can own is a closed mind. So here's what's interesting. If I ask people, how do you see things? How do you think we see things? Our eyes, right? Yeah, it's my eyes. Well, what if I told you it's not how you see? Your mind actually uses your eyes as a mechanism to gather data. We see with our mind. So if my mind is blind to the possibility, my eyes will be blind to the opportunity. There will literally be something right in front of me, and I will not see it. So our intention today is really to equip you so that way you were blind, but now you can see. And the truth will set you free. Indeed it will. So everybody stand up. We're going to end our meeting the way we end all of our meetings. We want to encapsulate this information. Whether you are partnered with us or not, we want to be a resource for you. We've built this community intentionally and purposefully to equip you with everything that you need so you can do more deals, no matter what's happening in the marketplace. And I promise you, in this ecosystem, there is somebody that's already doing what you're doing. And this model allows us to collaborate at a super high level. So remember, high energy equals? Let's go. High energy equals? All right. So we're going to end this meeting the way we end all our meetings, which is the same way we started it. So we can really just hug and encapsulate what we just did together as a team. So when I say, give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair, it's going to go, and then woo. I want everybody out there to think we're nuts. Okay. Everybody ready? Oh, it feels so good, doesn't it? Do you feel it? Ooh, it feels good. Everybody ready? Give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair. Woo! Let's go have an amazing rest of the day on purpose.
Money is just a word, right? It's not about the money. It's about what it allows us to do. Because through money, we could do a lot for others. We could do a lot for ourselves. You also wanted time freedom. I don't know. I got sold on the idea that I was going to be my own boss, have a flexible schedule. That's why we became realtors, a lot of us. Listen to a podcast and you're like, yes, they have all this free time. They run their own business. And then you are in the real world. You're a realtor and you find yourself working Monday through Sunday, not having days off. That's not the way that I wanted to live my life.